Okay, so now we are going to move on to advertising language and culture. So advertising sales techniques are the first thing that we're going to start talking about. So we're going to talk about fear of loss, sense of urgency, Jones effect, and indifference. With fear of loss, this goes hand in hand with sense of urgency. So fear of loss means that you have a fear that you might miss out on something. So you create this impulse, like you have a certain amount of time, and if you don't get it in time, you'll lose the deal, okay? For example, we only have a limit of 50 more customers who can take advantage of this promotion. Let's be honest, no one wants to miss out on a good deal. Why do you think there's a Black Friday before the holidays? So basically, the reason why there's Black Friday before the holidays is so people have a last minute effort that they can be able to get gifts before Christmas. So with having an example like we only have 50 more of these, it shows them if I'm not one of those 50, I'm going to miss out on a good deal. I don't want to lose out on that deal, okay? With sense of urgency, it's more like time, but it still works hand in hand, okay? Now or never, like 1 hour only. Call now for this deal, and in 15 minutes it'll be gone. So this, in order to create an impulse, you want to create an impulse to get someone to do something right away on the spot. So you mix it in with, you're going to lose this, you have to act urgently. So fear of loss and sense of urgency. Jones effect is a bit different. Have you ever heard of the saying, keeping up with the Joneses? If not, what this means is that nobody wants to be the first person to buy something, but once everybody has it, then everybody wants to be on board with the same thing that everybody else has so that they feel like they're a part of a society. For example, iPhones, right? So once everyone is doing one thing, then everybody else will do it too, right? So that is the whole idea. It's like if one person has it, everybody else wants it. It's the Jones effect. So the Joneses are the family that everybody looks up to or likes, and everyone wants to be like the Joneses. So that's the idea of that. So this is like, everybody has this product, you want to have this product too. Then you have indifference. Never appear desperate for a sale. If you do, your customer may become skeptical and will not buy. So with indifference, it's just showing that you know the quality of what it is that you are selling. So even if it's more expensive, you don't mind. If you don't want to get it, somebody else will, right? So like an iPhone. You don't want to spend $1,000 on your iPhone, that's fine, but somebody else will. We know we have a good product, okay? So now we have some overt and implied messages in commercials. All right, so we are going to watch one of these together, and you're going to try to tell me what you believe to be the overt message, the main message, and the implied message in a written response. Okay? So we're going to do this. Give me 1 second. And then we will get started. So what I want you guys to do, again, is I want you to look at this and decide what you think is the overt message and what you think is the implied message. Here is the advertisement that we are going to watch, and you're going to tell me what you believe to be the overt and the implied message. Okay. So you see that is the Dove recording of what they're doing during this pandemic, or during the pandemic, depending on when you were watching. So now we want to talk about what we believe to be the overt and the implied message that was in that. What do you think the main meaning of that Dove advertisement was, and what do you think the implied meaning, the undertone. Now let's talk about advertising. So what is advertising? Advertising is a form of communication used to encourage or persuade an audience to continue to take some new action. Most commonly, the desired result is to drive consumer behavior with respect to a commercial offering. So it's to get people to buy things. So it's the activity or profession of producing advertisements for commercial products or services. Advertising in its simplest form is the way in which the vendor or manufacturer of a product communicates with consumers via a medium or many different media. Advertising means messages. So you have the advertiser, and then you have the media, and then the consumer, the person that is absorbing this. So the difference between a consumer and a customer will buy a product, but a consumer is buying a product for their own personal use. So advertising language has a powerful influence over people. Language is key to effective advertising. Language in advertising includes, but is not limited to, product names. What's the name of the product? What's the slogan of this product? What language in relation to culture is it using? So knowing different words among different cultures will help you sell products better. Certain words are often used in advertising that you'll see a lot. Things like bigger, now, good, better, the best, special, extra, big, easy. And verbs that you'll see are come. So come buy this. Buy is the next one. Need, love, use, feel, start, go. So you'll see a lot of these when looking at advertising language. So advertising is not only about the language that is being used, but also about where the language is positioned. So careful planning goes into this process so that the proper words stand out to you and plant the seeds of want or need in your mind. So sometimes ads will use common sayings with their own spin on it. So this will help consumers identify with the product easily, and therefore will be able to pick up on the puns or the play on words better if they are already familiar with the base structure. So a pun, if anyone doesn't know what a pun is, it's the use of humor or the humorous use of a word or phrase to imply a different meaning or suggest a different meaning. So it's like a play on words, okay? So here are some puns that we'll see in some advertisements here. So these are some print ads. You have will to win. So you would see the pun here is, so will to win, it can mean two different things. Like LeBron will dunk to win, or he has the will to win. See, it plays on both of those there. So will to win, the great Vince Lombardi once said, winning isn't everything, but the will to win is everything. Meaning if a company, team, or individual does not have the will to win, they will never be able to win. In this advertisement, they are playing on the idea, but saying that LeBron will dunk like this to win a game. So now you have this advertising language. So we have run on air, this advertisement. And then we have taste so much like Coke, we should sue ourselves. So run on air. Taste so much like Coke, we should sue ourselves. So run on air, this is a play on words that Nike is using to promote their Air Nike shoes. They are sending the message that if you wear these shoes, it will feel as though you're running on air, meaning that they are very light, they don't hurt your feet, they're comfortable. So that's this one right there, run on air. Okay, and then you have taste so much like Coke, we should sue ourselves. This ad implies that you don't have to feel as though you're missing out on the original flavor of Coke because you're drinking Coke Zero. It has no calories, but the flavor is still almost exactly the same. So now we're going to have a discussion. By discussion, I mean you guys are going to write your answers to what you think these things mean. So for this one, you have absolute subliminal. What do you believe to be the meaning of this print ad? You're going to write down your answers for that and send them to me. So what do you think the meaning of this ad is? Why do you think they have used the language they have? And do you think that it is effective? Next, you will be doing the same thing for this one. The only shot that gives you wings. Okay, what is the company? What do you think the meaning of this ad is? Why do you think they have used the language they have? And do you think it's effective? Then you have American football, the tougher football. What do you think this ad is implying? Why do you think they have used the language they have? And do you think it is effective? Which is American football, the tougher football. Advertising and culture. So advertising can either target specific subcultures or aim to advertise to the largest amount of people, regardless of the subculture they identify with. When companies try to target the largest amount of people, they are usually not successful. So if you try to target like girls, like that's not going to work out. You need to have a specific breakdown of a target audience, right? The key to advertising is to make each person feel as though the product has been designed for them. In advertising, there are ads that are made in order to hit certain target markets. So a target market is a group of consumers that the business has decided to aim its marketing efforts and ultimately its merchandise towards. The company has decided what kind of subculture identifies with their specific ad and will ultimately buy their product. Advertising both is kind of popular culture. So advertising both is a kind of popular culture, and it is a major way that we learn about how people interpret popular culture, okay? So it's not just about what popular culture is, but how we keep up with trends. We do that through advertising and culture. So advertising is a major mode of socialization, telling us how to think and how to feel. So what's hip, what's sexy, what's normal, what problems we need to worry about, the lack of the latest e-gadget, insufficiently white teeth, etc. Okay, so just showing you what is in, what is not in, why it's not in, basically. Understanding the way in which other cultures communicate allows the advertising campaign to speak to the potential customer in a way they understand and appreciate. Okay, so if you can understand the culture, you'll be able to target them a lot better, and then you can speak to them in a language they understand. So basically everything that we do, everywhere we look, is advertising. We're always being advertised towards. So here's a quote about that. If you look around you, you will find your world filled with advertising on huge billboards in the streets, on the pages of the magazines, between the tracks played on the radio, on the walls of the subway, on the pages of internet sites, at the bottom of emails, on the back of cinema tickets, on the shirts of football players. It seems that any surface that will hold still long enough to be read is considered a potential advertising medium. But there's so much advertising that surrounds us on a daily basis. It is safe to say that advertising is a part of our culture. There's no way to avoid advertisements. So everywhere you look, there's always an ad. Even if it's for something charitable, even if it's for something that seems really stupid, doesn't matter. You're always around some sort of advertisement. The cool thing about advertisements is that they can introduce characters to the public imagination. They can make icons out of actors, and they can have everyone repeating a catchphrase. Advertisements often take on a cultural life of their own, like the Super Bowl. Everyone looks forward to the Super Bowl because they want to see the advertisements, right? Advertisements express the current wants and needs of our society. They show us what we should aspire to be and how we can do that. And at other times, they show us how to act based on things we see. So ads make us feel like what we do happens in the ads, ads make us feel like we can do what happens in the ads or be what is in the ad. So when you see an advertisement, you picture yourself within that scenario, which makes you feel as though you want the product. That's why it works so well. So they do this with the use of things like slogans. So what is a slogan? It's a distinctive cry, phrase, or motto of any party, group, manufacturer, or person, catchword or catchphrase. So a slogan is a memorable motto or phrase used in a political, commercial, religious, and other contexts as a repetitive expression of an idea or purpose. So slogans are important because they help create a memorable image for the business, right? Whatever the business is, if you have a slogan attached to it, it's easy to connect that slogan with the actual business. A slogan helps consumers remember your product, and the more catchy it is, the more likely people are to buy. So it takes a really long time to plan these slogans because they stick with the company for at least like 3 to 5 years minimum, sometimes a whole lifetime. So we're going to look at some examples of slogans. Gatorade, is it in you? Very popular one. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Everybody knows that one. without even having to put the actual company name. You know who this is. It's Nike. Just do it. Apple, think different. Walmart, save money, live better. Adidas, impossible is nothing. Skittles, taste the rainbow. Budweiser, king of beers. Then there are also spoof ads. So spoof ads are a little bit different. They're like a parody. They're making fun of a product or a situation. So they take something that's serious and they make light of it in an advertisement, but get a message across. Okay? So they're created to mock or comment on or trivialize an original work, its subject, its author, style, or some other target. Okay, so sometimes it can be working for an actual product that does exist, or a product that's made up, or situation. It's almost like a comedy skit or like a comedy sketch, making fun of something. McDonald's is the main place that people spoof ads from, just because of its bad track record of being an unhealthy place for people to eat. Cigarettes have a lot of spoof ads too. So we're going to analyze some spoof ads and determine the meaning and how they relate to certain cultures. So you're going to look at these. So we're making fun of this. We'll help you out with the first one. So you have Ronald McDonald here. You have grease here across his mouth, and it's covered up. So what this is implying, or what the meaning of this spoof ad is, it's that you're a clown if you eat at McDonald's. You're foolish because you're covered with so much grease you can't even open your mouth anymore, head to toe in grease, okay? So McDonald's makes you feel like a clown for eating this food because it's not good for you. So now we're going to go over the other ones, and you're going to write down in a response to me for each of these ones coming up what you believe to be the meaning of this spoof ad. I shop, therefore I am. This one is a bit difficult, so I'm going to let it stay here for a second. I shop, therefore I am. Write down what you believe to be the meaning of that. Marlboro Country. Marlboro Country. What do you think the meaning of this spoof ad is? I'm going to write this down. You're going to send all of these to me. What do you believe to be the meaning of this one for Nike? This one says the product is you at the bottom. What do you believe to be the meaning of that one? And then your homework is going to be to create your own print ad. So creating your own print ad is going to be a little bit difficult, but I have the resources and tools that you need to be able to do that. Using canva.com, you will be able to get the assignment sheet, and we will go over this in a discussion to make sure everybody understands what is required of you along with the rubric. Okay, I hope that was helpful and informative. See you next time. Bye.